Before we start, I'd like all of us to do a mini workout on our mind. I know this is a little bit different, so let's follow the instruction in this video so that we can carry on with this session forward.
Hi, and welcome to Headspace. So before you begin your exercise, take a moment to check in with both the body and the mind. Sitting down, just take a nice big deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. A sense of taking on lots of fresh air as you breathe out, just letting go of any distractions and just feeling the mind in the body, more present, more aware, more focused, ready to begin. Notice how the body feels, whether there's a sense of energy, lightness, heaviness, discomfort, just becoming more aware of how the body feels. Allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm, opening the eyes again and ready to begin.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa, nā mihi nui ki a kato katoa. Hello everybody and warm welcomes to you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to talk about the biases and their impact on our organizational culture in this session. My name is Jessie Liu and I am your presenter today. At Temaya, we stand for generosity fund, holistic support, and stronger impact economy. Our kaupapa is Sustainable Development Goal 10, reducing inequality within and among countries. We are the capacity builders and microloan lender. We also have 2 marketplaces for our purpose-driven SMEs to promote their goods and services. These sessions are designed to be guided reflections. The sharing is based on my own experiences with some tried and tested theories and practices from various disciplines, such as social psychology, business management, psychology-based marketing, impact entrepreneurship, and impact innovation. The Growth and Innovation Program is broken down into 8 sections. Each section has 3 to 4 subtopics. The Growth and Innovation Program started from our mindset, then moving on to Sustainable Development Framework and its integration to business management, focusing on innovation management. In today's session, we are exploring these concepts. What is bias? How do we learn to be biased? What kind of impact does it make as an individual and in an organizational setting? What is implicit association test? Why does it matter to me and my team? Why do we care about biases as an organization? Finally, how can we unlearn this thinking pattern? We are all biased to a certain degree, which is our human nature as a filter for the information we gathered from our experiences and surroundings. I wouldn't label the concept of biases as good or bad. Instead, I would encourage all of us to be aware that this is just part of our natural responses. However, it does matter when it comes to a decision-making process. Today, we are going to talk about the biases. What is bias? How do we know to be biased? The definition of bias is a natural inclination for or against an idea, object, group, or individual. It is often learned and is highly dependent on variables, such as a person's socioeconomic status, race, ethnicity, educational backgrounds. At the individual level, biases can negatively impact someone's personal and professional relationships. At the societal level, it can lead to unfair persecution of a group. The definition of bias is our inclination or prejudice for or against one person or a group, especially in a way considered unfair. It is an inclination or prejudice, which means we can learn these ideas and unlearn them with practice. It's against a person or a group. This is a crucial element and the reason why we want to start from biases, because the decision we make at our organizations will have either a positive or detrimental impact on the future. We want to make an informed decision based on the numbers and data. So by being aware of our inclination to biases, we could improve our organizational well-being. So what is implicit association test, IAT for short? There are many types of research out there to measure the biases. And the implicit association test is just one of the examples. IAT measures attitudes and beliefs that people may be unwilling or unable to report. The IAT might be especially interesting if it shows that you have an implicit attitude that you didn't know about. So the IAT is to measure the strength of automatic associations, revealing people's hidden biases about gender, race, age, and disability, sexuality, and 90 other topics. The IAT measures attitudes and beliefs that people may be unwilling or unable to report. The IAT might be especially interesting if it shows that you have implicit attitude that you didn't know about. I just want to highlight these two sentences. Sometimes our biases are hidden. We don't know that we are biased until that we are made aware. The IAT can be used as an indicator of personal evaluation or group exercise in a safe environment. So why does it matter to me and my team? Because any decision we make often involve people. With growth and innovation in mind, we want to have diverse ideas from diverse backgrounds. The costs of making a biased decision based on our implicit attitudes are way too high. Not only will we limit the growth of our organization, but also our personal development. We cannot change our thinking patterns if we are not aware of our tendencies. And this matters because without a solid and inclusive team, we might not be able to grow and innovate as an organization. So I will encourage you to take a test alone and with your team. And given the time constraint, we only have 30 minutes today. I would encourage you to put some notes in the comment sections right now, or send me an email and let me know how it goes, how you go with the discussion with your team, and let me know what you find out about your own biases and your own tendencies towards other people and other differences. I did. I took the Asian American test, and the results are very surprising to me. It turns out that I have a strong automatic association of European Americans with Americans and Asian Americans with foreign nationalities. It is interesting to me because I believe that we do not judge people by their own race. Yet I'm 23% likely to associate non-white Americans as foreigners. What does it say about me as a non-white Kiwi living in New Zealand? So what kind of impact does it make as an individual and in an organizational setting? It means I may be too quick to judge a person I come in contact with. For example, I might have presumptions on the background of the person I'm talking to, whether they are my clients, suppliers, buyers, or staff, or team members, or stakeholders. And that could be dangerous because if we are not making or forming the judgment objectively, they might impact on the final result and the quality of our decisions. So why do we care about biases as an organization? These presumptions are not helpful for individuals, as we all know, in organizational settings, because we might further develop the tendencies for groupthink. Groupthink is an interesting dynamic, which we will discuss more in session 2. So biases towards other races, sexualities, and age limit the valuable inputs from these communities. And the way forward is to create the awareness of our implicit association with the people who don't sound like me, sound like us, or look like us. And at the end of the day, any idea is a good idea to start with. However, it's up to us how we evaluate the idea against viability that will require rational decision-making process and not based on our biases. So to develop our awareness of this topic, we need to go back to the basics. How we feel on the receiving end of the unfair biases. So what kind of impact does it make? Does it have on you personally? The experiences translate to the broader awareness of how we interact with our different communities. So once again, I will encourage you to share the learning and thinking on this course with your team members, so everyone can sit down and deal with these implicit tendencies. It starts with the IAT test, alone and as a team, and discuss these findings, and also openly share your experiences. Sometimes all we need is a conversation to put these ideas on the table and then welcome the feedback, so we can all moving forward on the same page. And because of the time constraint, we are not going to open up for the group discussion, but I will encourage you to write your questions and comments below, and I will get back to you later. And then I'd love to know more about your findings and your experiences. So far, I hope that we have established the concepts on what biases are. And I have included some references and some readings and some articles for you to look at after the presentation. And by now, we understand what the biases are, and we all have the tendencies to be blinded to our own beliefs and our own thinking. And now we are going to look at the impact that might have on ourselves individually and organizationally. First of all, I would like to ask, why do we care about this topic? Why do we care? We care because at the end of the day, everybody matters. And there are many types of research out there. Some are in the references below, outlining why we need to take this issue seriously. From Me Too movement to Black Lives Matters, we must understand those slogans meant for us. What does it mean for us? And what does it mean for those communities? And how we can prevent unfairness spread. The key thing to remember here is when we uplift one group, we also need to be aware that we do not put down the others. It's about equality. Just putting two groups together, that's equality. And more will be discussed in our course too, on groupthink conformity, because we are all in this together. So everybody matters. The inclusive collaboration and organization cultures impact on our employee engagement and their motivation, and also the confidence the stakeholders and our employees have on the company. And when you have a really good organizational culture, it is easier to attract talent. So this is a study by BCG. The think tank found that a strong and statistically significant correlation between the diversity of management teams and overall innovation. And a report from McKinsey also find that the companies with the most ethnically diverse executive teams are 33% more likely to outperform their peers on profitability. So this is some interesting study to demonstrate that diversity in our team is not just a slogan, it's also about walk the walk. So growth and innovation built on diversity and inclusion of our organizational structures and management process. Without ideas from diverse backgrounds, we are unable to be a competitive player in a competitive marketplace. So next, we would like to look at the ways to honor this thinking pattern and what we can do right now to reduce the impact of our own biases. But before that, we are going to look at a short video on the topic of diversity a little bit better. So we are using diversity and inclusion interchangeably sometimes, but diversity and inclusion are not one and the same. For growth and innovation to happen, we need to differentiate what these words meant. So please take a look at the video below, and we will look into the suggestion together.
Hey everyone, it's Jacob here. Today doing a video about diversity and inclusion. These are topics of conversation that are coming up quite a bit lately, but one of the things that I've noticed is that we keep mixing these two terms up. In other words, we group diversity and inclusion together, but they are not the same thing. So I wanted to do this quick video to distinguish what the difference between these two things are and why you need to focus on both. So diversity is simply about having a mix of people inside of your organization, okay? Just having that mix of people. I think of it like being a chef. This to me is just having about the different ingredients, okay? Different groups of people in there. Inclusion is about making those people feel like they belong. So again, using the chef analogy, this is about making sure that the ingredients come together to form a dish that tastes good. Now, this part is very easy, right? I mean, it's very easy to just bring together different ingredients, take things out of your pantry. It's easy to just hire different types of people together, you know, and bring them together in a group or part of a team or part of an organization. Really, the bigger challenge, I think, is around the inclusion piece. It's now that you've brought these people together from different cultures, sexual orientations, religions, backgrounds, people who have different values, now that you have these different types of people, how do you make sure that they feel like they belong inside your company? How do they all have a voice? How are they all represented? How do you make them all feel like they genuinely want to be part of your organization? The reason why this is so crucial is because if you just have a lot of people from different backgrounds and a lot of people who are different at your company, but they don't feel like they belong there, and they don't get along, they don't necessarily feel like they want to be part of your organization, then what's the point? Again, using the analogy of cooking and being a chef, you might have a lot of ingredients in your pantry, right? I mean, if I go downstairs in my kitchen, I could pull out 100 different types of ingredients. But if I can't make something cohesive with those ingredients, then what's the point of just randomly mixing them together? And by the way, the ROI of diversity and inclusion, there are a lot of studies out there which show the benefits of focusing on both of these things. Everything from creating better products and services for customers, to resolving conflict, to innovation, to productivity. The ROI of diversity and inclusion is crucial. And now more than ever before, especially what we're seeing with things like Black Lives Matter, the fight against social and racial injustice, even with COVID-19, diversity and inclusion should be a huge imperative for your organization, and it's something that your leaders must focus on. So hopefully this brief overview, this breakdown of the difference between diversity and inclusion makes sense, and hopefully you understand why you need both. Diversity and inclusion. This is something that every organization around the world needs, and it's gonna start with you asking for it, demanding for it inside of your company. Hopefully you found this video useful and valuable. If so, please make sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube or wherever you happen to be watching. Give the video a like or a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Check out futureofworkpodcast.com for more content. And do me a favor, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever your preferred channel is. Thank you.
I hope that the video is helpful. To sum it up, growth and innovation build on belongingness. When our team members feel they belong, they feel they enjoy coming to work, they will be more productive, they will feel more like a bigger vision, a part of the bigger vision, and not just here for the paycheck. And when our stakeholders, for example, suppliers and strategic partners feel they belong, they will go that extra mile for our joint vision. And when our target audience, our markets, our customers feel they belong in our brand's vision and our actions, they will show their loyalty to what we are doing and will be a compassionate first followers. And that's really important in the growth and innovation stage. Sometimes when we make mistakes, we don't want our first followers to go away. We need the loyalty to grow. And those people, they will support our growth and innovation as we embark on this journey together. So every session onwards is built on this concept of belongingness with the different layers of insight. For now, let's just dive into the suggestions on how we can create an organization where everyone feels they belong. Once again, many articles and organizations are promoting the concept of belongingness. Here are just some of the initial ideas to get you started. And we will build on this as the course and the program progress. So the number one, awareness. We can fix what we don't know, and we can improve what we are not aware of. So implicit association tests, the IAT or other similar tools, will help us understand who we are and what we think and how we think. And this should be a regular exercise we do as a team members, because sometimes it's really easy to slip back to the old habits. Number two, solicit input and follow through. Following through is very important, and it's also good to start a conversation. But the following through, what is the key to innovation and implementation and measurement. Later on in the innovation and growth and innovation program, we will look into the team building, recruitment and management process. And it's important to know that this is just the start of the journey. And when we talk about belongingness, it's not a slogan. It's something that we need to embed into our organizational culture every day. Number three, sharing is caring. So it is okay to share how you feel in a safe environment. The outspoken members of our team, especially those who are often coming from the left field, are the ones to nurture as they care enough to voice their opinions. So later on, we will look into how we bring those ideas to life through our innovation management process. How do we manage the order and chaos, the everyday business as usual activities, and the disruptive ideas on innovation. Number 4, to be aware of our own biases and our nerdish behaviors require active efforts and practice in our management policies and organizational setup. In our program, we will have a few sessions dedicated to this topic. Number 5, judgment build walls. Focus on people. This session is an open invitation to understand that, yes, we're all biased, and yes, we're all here to have this conversation to move forward as a team. Judgment build walls, and the walls prevent ideas from taking off through our innovation initiation stage. And more on this topic later on in our program. How do we nurture those early stage ideas without compromising our business as usual activities? Judgment build walls. Number 6, they stop the people who have the ideas and drive to come into our organization through our recruitment process. So regular check-ins with our team members is really important, and onboarding program is also very important for our new members so that we can build an inclusive organizational culture from day one. That's a lot of information today, and I'd like you to take a moment to reflect on what we have just covered. If growth and innovation are built on the belongingness, what can I do? What can we do to make sure our team members feel they belong in our organization and our vision? This is a really good topic to think about. You can write your initial thoughts now in the comments, or take some time to think on this, and let me know how you get on with this. Wow, that was a very quick session for 30 minutes. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope you find this course insightful and valuable. I know it's very hard to pack all this information into a 30-minute slot, but please note that this is just the starting of our conversations. And I love to hear your feedback, as we are also learning as we go with our communities. And for the next session, we will be talking about more on the group biases, including conformity and groupthink. The misconception and confusion between conformity, groupthink, and collaboration are costly to organizational growth and innovation. And we need to deal with it head on before we move forward on our journey of growth and innovation. And the final course on the module 1 is about being authentic to your vision and your value. And this is really important as a leader in this space, that how do we stand firm to deal with all these things happening around us. Finally, I'd like to keep in touch on this journey of implementation. So this is not just a standalone course, but a program that would help you on different stages of your entrepreneurial pursuits. And Tamaya has a Facebook page, and you can jump onto our website. You can find our social channels there. And also, I will send you the presentation today. And please refer to the references below, and I welcome you to share your journey with all of us as you go. And once again, please feel free to share those materials forward, and please sit down with your team and have conversations. And thank you so much for spending this 30 minutes with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Ngā mihi nui, my appreciation and best regards to you all.